What's going on, Minties? The Uncanny Omar here from Near Mint Condition, and today's Reviews in a Flash is brought to you by Darkstar916. So thank you very much, Darkstar. Again, Reviews in a Flash is always spoiler-free. It's a really quick review of these books you may or may not have heard of. Today I'm going to be talking about Bitter Root. It is published by Image Comics. The retail price is $16.99. This first volume collects the first 5 issues. The book is written by Dave Walker and Chuck Brown, and the artwork is done by Sandford Greene. Now, how do I describe this book? Well, let's see. I think it's a very unique book because it takes place in a part of comic books that I have not seen a lot of, and that is in Harlem in the 1920s. So during that Harlem Renaissance period. As a matter of fact, it takes place in 1924. You might be able to tell here by the cover, so when Harlem was really booming with fashion and music and art, it's interesting to see it placed there. So it's about a black family. They're named the Sangares. God, someone help me pronounce that. And this family are known to be monster hunters. And not just your typical monsters like zombies or vampires. They're called the Genu, or they've been known through all of history to have different names. But during this time, they're called the Genu. I hope I'm also pronouncing that right. And what's interesting about these monsters is that they're actually human beings that are transformed into monsters because of hatred and bigotry or anger. That's what fuels these creatures to be born. So yes, it is a social commentary on things that they were back then and now, but they don't really throw it in your face. Really, what it reminds me of is a kick-ass anime that I would love to watch. I really enjoyed this book, but I'll get to that here in a second when I give my final score. So practically that's the plot, and then you have this family, and they're kind of broken. So back in 1919, they had this big war with the Genu, or whatever they were called at the time, and some of the family members got killed, or, well, I don't want to give it away. They're gone now. It's like some of the moms, the dads, the uncles, and aunts. So the family split. Some of them want to revert the Genu back to human beings by exorcising these demons out of them, and some of them just want to kill them. So that's how they're split up. Each one of the characters is different, and I think that is really awesome. My favorite one being Blink. I like her. She's kind of the, I don't want to be a cook. She's the one that excretes the juices out of the roots so they can use that as the healing potion, but she wants to be a fighter because her brother sucks at fighting. So I like that aspect of the book already. Now let's talk about the artwork, because I think the artwork is what really carries this book a lot too. Yes, the book is really fun, but the art by Sandford Greene is freaking amazing. Like, it just really feels like I'm in this part of the world during this time when he makes these characters, these cities come to life. And here's one thing that's really interesting to note too, is that yes, while most of this takes place in Harlem in 1924, you also see Mississippi in 1924 and how different that world is for black people, because in Harlem everything was booming and it was about the art and the music, and then in the South, in Mississippi, you had lynch mobs and the KKK going after people. So I really like the way that both of the art is done there. It's so different, but it's the same, I guess, if that makes any sense. Let's see here. There's all these little variant covers. I love that I'm going to try to show each one of these here in a second, or as I go through the book. I love the fact that they have variant covers, and they've done by some of the most biggest talents in comic books world. You have Mike Mignola, you have Scotty Young, you have David Mack, just to name a few. And I think that is freaking awesome. And then in the back here, because literally the book, like I said, is only 5 issues long, and I can't give away that ending, so I can't show you this beautiful Ben Oliver piece. But I will show you this Bitter Root variant covers here in the back. Holy shit, that one's awesome. That's the Akira one. That's the one by Sandford Greene. And then you have, a bunch of other variants back here. But then you also have articles from different writers and teachers and people in the comic book industry, and not even in the comic book industry, but just people in entertainment industry, talking about the book and then the myths and the folklore that inspired a lot of this. So I thought that was really cool. So a lot of research went into this, and I think that's really great because, you know, we always talk about that we don't have any new characters. You always hear people complain about the lack of African Americans in comics, Latinos in comics, Asians in comics. It's a thing that you probably hear a lot of. So when new comics like this come out, sometimes they go under the radar and a lot of people aren't aware of them. I found this to be really awesome. I know that my buddy on Omnibros Live, Luis, had read the first issue and he really enjoyed it. So I couldn't wait to read it. I had a lot of fun with this book. I think it is a very important book to read for anybody. Doesn't matter what your race is, what your sex is. It's just a fun book. I like characters that I can relate to. Like, one of my things that I always say on this channel is I relate more to Uncle Scrooge than I do characters that look like me in comic books, because I relate to the personalities of the characters. I really like the setting, and like I said, it's an area that I haven't seen very much in comic books go back and talk about. Harlem in the 1920s, really fucking cool. So for me, the book gets... Damn. I don't... I think the only gripe I guess I could say is that some of the art during the action sequences could be a little hard to follow. But fuck it. It's awesome. Like, they look so good and so fluid. 5 out of 5. I highly recommend anybody trying this book out. Let me know in the comments down below if you've already read it and if you recommend it. I can't wait for some more. I don't know if they're taking a break, or I don't know if it's still going, but seriously, the first book ended on a badass cliffhanger. I want more. So, 5 out of 5. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't subscribed yet, and notifications. And we can also be found on Patreon if you enjoy the content of our channel and want to support the channel that way. And we are also on Redbubble, where you can get our logo on t-shirts, not like this, and stickers. Again, this was the Uncanny Omar. Thank you very much for watching. And remember, if it's classy and cool, it must be near mint. Now go and buy Bitter Root. It is badass. Lots of fun.